Is it time for Pokemon to change? All that and more coming up on Game Jab. Welcome to Game Jab, where we take a jab at video games. My name is Zach, and I'll be your host. Many people out there, including myself, grew up as a kid catching Pokemon in Pokemon Red and Blue when it first came out on the Nintendo Game Boy. Over the years, we enjoyed the simple collect them and evolve them all. The game was addicting at the time, and to others it's still the same working formula where you walk around, fight trainers, catch Pokemon, and level them up. I remember being in 4th grade when Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal came out. Oh yeah, and there was Yellow, but I really didn't pay very much attention to that. But as time marches on, so does another, and yet another, with more and more Pokemon to catch, using the same formula as well as the consistent marketing tactic, which is clever, but proof of how there's a sucker born every minute. 2 or 3 versions of the same game, but different colors or titles with mostly the same Pokemon, but each versions may not have all the same handful of different Pokemon, which really aren't worth collecting because we all know that once you get that perfect dream team, it's pretty much over. Me, personally, I don't need to catch all the hundreds and hundreds of Pokemon that's out there. Now, Pokemon Y, even though it was the same thing, I still felt like a rock star. There were some changes that made the game a little bit more enjoyable, with side quests, taking away the annoying rival who's always ahead of you with that stupid smirk on his face. Plus, I love the map and the graphics. The game does feel rewarding, and Nurse Joy even remembers my own birthday, and that's cool and all, but in reality, it's still the game formula, as well as the other Pokemon games prior to it. I was so pumped that I even did a free giveaway on Pokemon Sun and Moon, and I couldn't wait to get my hands on a copy of Pokemon Moon. But sadly, after 2 gym battles, I lost interest in playing this game. You know, I really wasn't interested in playing the same game that I've been playing over and over, having to restart the same kind of adventure, the same marketing plot with another handful of Pokemon, including maybe some new ones. Yeah, the cutscenes are nice, and Nintendo's gonna release it because it's Pokemon, but I feel the formula needs to be changed. But how can you change something that's been the same thing over and over for so many years, and has been identified as a collector and level 'em up game? Now, changing the game at this point is not only a critical game changer, but it's also a very scary idea. But if this is just going to be one of those simple collect 'em and RPG games, then let's look at our possibilities here. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is an amazing game and is also a perfect example for Pokemon. Zelda started to fall into that same category of repetitiveness, where it really is just the same game with minor changes here and there. The game used to be about exploring blindly, stumbling into a situation or exploring a dungeon out of curiosity. But over the time, it became more like a theme park ride where you have to go where you needed to go in order to progress to another part of the game. Exploring is limited, and by the time that you've reached that spot that you've been wanting for so long, it ends up losing its charm because of the ride-along feel. Zelda is good, and I love the games. I love the first 2 games for the Nintendo, and I super loved Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo. But once Ocarina of Time came into play, what was one of the most nostalgic games known to a gamer of my age knows that it's also the father of what started to ruin Zelda games. Majora's Mask was good and had a great story, and the 3-day rule added the whole new style of fear and motivation. Everything was timed out perfectly to take place within 3 days, and the events in all the parts of the map with all the characters and always playing the same when you reverse time, alter time, and all the NPCs became a part of the game. The game was all about side quests, and it did follow the ride-along very well because of certain people's stories can be altered, and there were so many cool things that Link can do, as well as actually making a difference in the world. But over time and time again, the player is put through the same type of ride, with Link being spoiled over and over again. With the exceptions of like Twilight Princess, which had amazing cutscenes, and who doesn't like having a spicy sidekick? Teta was fun to have around because of her attitude, and so was Midna. A little note here, having a spicy sidekick who isn't always just a walking map or GPS, yet has a purpose in the game and actually feels like someone that I care about because I want to help them, is a great idea to keep the whole walking map feature into the game. I won't go into Skyward Sword because we all know that Link is spoiled rotten in that game, but hands down, you know that Nintendo was trying to find some way to revamp it, but just didn't know how. And sure, there were times Nintendo just gave up and rushed some titles out, but people at Nintendo noticed this and changed the formula. But Breath of the Wild introduced and revamped some old concepts, but changed the formula in hopes to see what Zelda fans would want, and it worked. Exploring Hyrule felt big! Amazing and intimidating, new surprises and dangers lurked around every corner and over every mountain, and exploring never felt so amazing. Sure, there was an adventure that was your main objective, but you don't feel like you're being taken on that planned out ride, and every new adventure is different and experienced in a new different way. If I can't climb that mountain, or if I'm not well equipped or smart enough to go into battle, then it's my fault. And that just means that somewhere out there is something I can do, and there's something out there that helped me progress to where I want to go. And there is so much to do in this big open world. Exploring the world was fun and unforgettable, and there was a lot of new gameplay elements and features that introduced into Zelda that worked out with the experience. This game is beautiful, and I was able to look past its flaws because Nintendo polished and fixed a lot of things, and the upgrade to the series was refreshing enough to let us know that it was worth the wait, and there is new and exciting possibilities for the future titles to come. Nintendo cares about its main titles and knows how to change and adapt, and that's my point when it comes to Pokemon. Now let's look at Pokemon and find some new ways to revamp the series in hopes that people are wanting and not feeling that they are still playing the same game over and over. Keep in mind this is just my opinion, so what I say has no effect on what happens with Nintendo or the Pokemon series. Of course you already knew that because you're smart. Pokemon is an RPG, so let's go ahead and treat it as an RPG. Why not create a large map and explore? And why not make it an online experience where thousands of Pokemon trainers from all around the world can play in this new and exciting world filled with Pokemon? No more just online trades and battles, but buddy up with your friends and others to search for new Pokemon. Can you imagine hundreds of people, including you and your friends, just waiting in some area hoping for a rare Pokemon to come out, and not only having to battle the Pokemon, but other trainers around you for bragging rights to make that catch feel so worth it? Think of it, with a massive map which can be updated and can possibly hold all the old regions up to now, even to new regions to explore. Work together as trainers to get from one region to another, fight that rush to make to your destination. Play your adventure in your own way and give people a Pokemon experience which they will never forget. The new Nintendo Switch would be a great opportunity for the first ever Pokemon on console. And why just stop there? Pokken Tournament offered a great idea for Pokemon card collectors to join in the fun. If amiibo cards were made, such as items, Pokeballs, purchasing Pokemon, or even quickly summoning a Pokemon. Of course, why just stop there when collecting cards could be in fact a great way to expand the Pokemon universe, or even add in the new catching Pokemon experience. Maybe you have that card, but say it's the only way to help you hunt down a Pokemon, or use it as a way to summon a wild Pokemon and catch it. The Nintendo Switch could be a great first console for this series because it's portable, and it can be used for enjoying Pokemon in the comforts of your own home or even on the go. And speaking of on the go, that opens up a brand new experience based on a familiar concept. Why stop there when there is only time to go? And why not take advantage of the Pokemon Go app? Maybe not the actual app, but the Nintendo Switch could use the same features and experience that Pokemon Go has to offer. Combine the virtual world with the real world. Enhance the experience of finding Pokemon out in your world. And wouldn't it be neat if Nintendo added a neat little application for your smartphone that acts as a map? Or use the Nintendo account on your smartphone and use its location features to encounter more Pokemon, trainers, or rare items, or even turn your smartphone into an actual Pokedex. With the disturbing news of the new upcoming Pokemon games such as Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which those games are coming out in your nearby future, it seems that Nintendo and Game Freak hasn't opened up their eyes to the new and bigger picture, and to the new possibilities that help bring to the loyal Pokemon fans who have been waiting for a unique experience, instead of just the same old ride that we've been riding at Nintendo's theme park for years and years. I want to say that they've only added new props and paint to the ride. The game isn't broken, it's just stuck on a pretend one-sided picture that has another picture on the other side, just waiting to be displayed and enjoyed by millions. Now, I know I'm not a game developer or the president of a successful gaming company, and I'm sure that all these things I listed, if it was implemented in a new Pokemon game for a console, would take a lot of time and cause setbacks, or even require attachments, but trust me when I say that if Nintendo ever released such a thing, that Pokemon fans would buy it and all the extra add-ons that would come with this game. Just look at all the countless different versions of Pokemon that we bought over the years. The same game with different Pokemon and countless reboots and revamps in previous games. We love our Pokemon, and we don't want to see those creatures that we raised and trained to become forgettable and stuck in a nostalgic time loop. With that said, Internet, it is now your turn. Do you agree with some of the things that I said, or do you disagree? And if there's anything else that you think that might be a great add-on to Pokemon, please, by all means, put it in the comments section down below. With that, my name is Zach, and I'll see you next time on Game Jab.